Also joining us with more, Bill Bennett. He served as Secretary of Education under President Reagan and is author of the new book, Tried by Fire, the story of Christianity's first 1,000 years. Bill, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. So,
thanks, Megan.
What do you make of what
You
Stephen
don't think greatness is possible to Albany? You don't think greatness can happen in Albany?
I didn't like that he said Albany. That's
Albany.
my hometown. It's Albany.
Hey,
we'll also accept Smallbany, but we will not accept Albany.
Gloversville, Schenectady, Niskayuna.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
First 9 years in Syracuse, the rest in Albany. I know of what I speak. So, question for you about Stephen Miller's testimonial just now. Agree or disagree?
I don't agree. By the way, I'm not a Kasich guy or a Cruz guy or a Trump guy. I guess I'm Mrs. Bennett's guy, but last time I was any but guy's guy, it was Reagan. But Stephen Miller can't dictate what Colorado does. That's the way they set it up in Colorado. We do not have a pure democracy here. We have a constitutional republic. And states do things in different ways. That's the way Colorado decided to do it. I think the crucial point is that Donald Trump and his people were not kept out of Colorado. They could have gone in and done the exact same thing Ted Cruz's people did. They just chose not to do it.
But what about his point that the people never voted for this? He says, you know, that the people never got to vote.
Well, I'm an alternate delegate in North Carolina, thanks to my friend Claude Pope. And I probably won't go because I imagine everyone's going to want to go to this convention. There isn't going to be much room for alternates. But these states have different rules, and the rules belong to the people who put them in place. These are the activists in the state, the people who want to get engaged, the people who want to get involved. You get to vote for president, in November, and that vote counts. However, there again, it's not a pure democracy. You can ask Al Gore about that. He had 500,000 more votes than George Bush, but he lost to George Bush because of the Electoral College. We have a complicated and intricate system, and it's designed by people at the federal level and at the state level to get the results that they want. And if you want to get engaged and involved and change it, that's what you do. But you can't be a bystander and just point and say, that's not the way you do it. They decide how they want to do it.
What's happening here, and the reason this is relevant, is because we have such a tight contest on the Republican side. And these guys really are duking it out to see whether Trump can get to 1237. Not realistic for Cruz or Kasich to do it prior to July, but they're trying to deny 1237 to Donald Trump. So every delegate matters. And Cruz has been very well organized in these states that require organization. What does that tell you about this race and the parties involved?
It tells you that organization means a lot in politics. Ground game means a lot in politics. There you can consult Hillary Clinton and ask her about Barack Obama and his ground game. And this is something we'll consider again at the time of the general. But these things matter, that kind of organization, that kind of getting people out, getting their enthusiasm, getting to the caucuses. I was instructed on what it would mean to be a delegate. And by the way, all this stuff about the RNC is in charge or Cruz is in charge or Trump, these delegates are in charge. And these are very active and smart people. And when I was briefed on what it meant to be a delegate, it's very complicated. You have to make a major commitment. And so they'll be the people who'll ultimately decide it. But look, this is what happens. It's happened before in America. 76, Ford, Reagan, it'll happen again. This is red hot tempers, red tape, but it's better than red blood, which is what they do in other countries.
What do you understand the obligation? Like when they talk to you about, okay, you're bound on the first vote, but then, if it gets a second vote, anything could happen. Because we're being told the delegates can be wooed, they can wine and dine you. They say, Bill, how'd you like to come to Mar-a-Lago? Or I guess Ted Cruz could have you down to the ranch. I mean, what do they tell you you're allowed to take? Well, how can they woo you appropriately?
Yeah, this is James Madison buying drinks, right, for the delegates in Virginia, our very own founding father. All sorts of things can happen. That'll turn on the rules. But yes, it was explained to me, if I'm an alternate delegate and a delegate drops and I get that delegate's position, I have to vote for the person on the first ballot whom that delegate supports. And if that person was John Kasich or Marco Rubio or someone we've forgotten by now, I still have to do that. That's my obligation. What about my right to vote for who I want to? That's not how the system is set up in the state of North Carolina.
What do you think are the odds of them parachuting in somebody who's not running for president right now to step in?
I think they're small, I think they're small, but I'll tell you, this is a crazy year. Anything can happen, but it's in the hands of the delegates. And I know a lot of these delegates, and frankly, I trust them. I've been all over this country. I've met with tons of delegates. I'd rather see it in their hands. They're like the Republican phone book, that Bill Buckley talked about. I'll take them over the experts.
Fascinating. Bill, great to see you. Good luck with the book.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan.